Hi, I'm Jennifer, and I'm here with my business partner, Cindy, and we're going to talk to you today a little bit about the difference between extroversion and introversion. Cindy, a lot of my clients are asking me how they can improve communication between their teams and amongst their teams. And so the concept of introversion versus extroversion has been coming up. And so I wanted us to chat a little bit and share some information about, how do those differences show up in communication?
Well, they definitely do, Jen. I'm glad you asked. The point I want to make, though, is that introversion and extroversion are really preferences. So you can use one or the other depending on the need, but you probably have one that you prefer. It's kind of like I'm right-handed, so I will use my right hand for things like writing almost exclusively, but I can use my left hand when I need to.
Okay, great. And so specifically, what is the difference between extroversion and then having a preference for introversion?
Well, if you have a preference for extroversion, you likely want to process things out loud. Collaboration is really great, and you get your mental energy from doing things in the outside world, either with people or without. Maybe you like to go hiking, maybe you like to do woodworking, maybe you like to hang out with your friends and, have a beverage. If you have a preference for introversion, you're more likely to want to take the information inside of you and turn it around in your head and think about it before you give your thoughts on the subject. And you'll need some quiet time to recharge that mental energy.
Yes, I can see. But you've been talking about mental energy. What is mental energy exactly?
Oh, good question, Jen. Mental energy is the energy that we use, the front part of our brain, to gather information, to make decisions, to set priorities. And all that takes mental energy. So at times you have to recharge it, either by hanging out with your friends or going on a hike, or maybe doing something quiet like reading a book, or for me, I like to play solitaire.
Okay, great. Yes. So I know that you're an introvert. I also know that I'm an extrovert. So let's talk about a little bit about, how that shows up in the workplace. Because, you and I, we've worked together for a while now. And I know that I've told you on occasion that, if I come to work and I have no meetings on my calendar, I might as well go home. It's a wasted day for me. And how do you think about
Well,
this?
That always cracks me up when you say that, because to me, a day with no meetings is like a day where I'm going to get so much done. So it's so interesting to me how different we can be on that topic. That's why I think it's important to sort of understand those differences, particularly when it comes to communication. I know for you, you really need those meetings to start thinking and to collaborate and to get those ideas and those creative juices flowing so that then you can go off and think about it and create the presentation or whatever it is you're working on. For me, I'm going to think about it, I'm going to bake the idea, and then I'm going to present it sort of already almost done. And I'm not thinking of it as a brainstorming session in the same way that you might.
So considering some of these differences in the workplace, you can really see how this could be confusing if you weren't aware of this dynamic of introverts and extroversion, for instance. So maybe we can talk a little bit more about how introverts work better with extroverts and how extroverts work better with introverts.
Oh, excellent idea, Jen. There's several things that you can do to really include the ideas and the input of those introverts that you work with. First thing is, we need time to think. In fact, we need 2 to 48 hours to do our best work. So send agendas ahead of time so that we can be thinking about the content of that meeting before the meeting and we can come well prepared for it. If you need a decision made or you want input, let us know what your expectations are, so again, that we can make sure that we're prepared for the conversation you want to have.
Well, let's talk a little bit about extroverts.
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay. So as an extrovert, I'll share with you some ideas about how you can work better with me, although I know you know these things. But generally speaking, ensuring problems are worked through with a group or collaboratively is really important to an extrovert. As you said, we like to brainstorm verbally. We like to talk through our ideas. We like to get feedback actually verbally instead of through long bulleted pieces of email. Much more effective for us. On the downside, we can seem a little bit aggressive at times.
You do like to talk over each other a lot, and it doesn't seem to bother you.
No, it really doesn't. This can be somewhat off-putting to those folks in the room, though, that need some time to process stuff, or that have some great thoughts and want to share, but don't want to break in or seem rude or seem to want to talk over others. So that can be an issue with a group of extroverts for sure. And I think it is really important to, if you're an extrovert, to know that you need to make space and ask for others' input who don't seem to be really collaborating or really sharing their opinions in the room for sure.
Jen, thanks for sharing those tips on communicating with extroverts. It really is amazing to realize that people have different ways they prefer to be communicated with, and it helps when you can be flexible.
Yes, thank you.